Hi, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to analyze the setting in Fall of the House of Usher now that you've finished reading it. So please watch this video all the way through. I'm going to have some important information right through towards the end. So you should have read just the first couple of paragraphs of Fall of the House of Usher today. And you might have noticed that setting is really, really important to this story. It really drives the plot. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about setting for sure today and tomorrow, and probably as we keep reading it. It really is going to help you understand the story much better to be able to picture the setting. So how this activity is going to work is I want you to draw the setting. So draw what you see being mentioned in the text, and also include some textual evidence to support why you drew what you drew. So you do actually need a piece of paper and a pencil for this if you've got it. Lined notebook paper is just fine, but just something that you can draw your example on. And what I'd like you to do is pick at least 5 to 10 elements that are mentioned in the text that you could include in your drawing. So I've got an example here. This is a very rough example, and I also only included 3 elements because I want to make sure that you're doing a lot of this on your own. But this is an example of what this might look like. I'm really hoping it's not backwards in the camera. It might be though, so I apologize for that. I'll explain what all of this says. Basically, all of these elements are things that I found in the text that were mentioned there. So I've got the narrator riding his horse. That is something that's mentioned. I've got the clouds that hung overhead. And I've got the house itself, which is a big part of the story. So before I continue showing this to you, I actually want to show you where I found these things in the story. They're at the very beginning. I'll share my screen with you. And here is Piercing Real Eyes. Here are the 3 things that I chose to include in my drawing. At the beginning here, they say the narrator had been passing alone on horseback. So that's something that I picked up on when I read it. There were also clouds that hung oppressively low in the heavens. I picked up on that. And the last thing I decided to include in my drawing was some description of the house, which we actually have a lot of in this first paragraph. See, so they describe the bleak walls, the vacant eye-like windows, upon a few rank sedges and upon a few white trunks of decayed trees. Goes on for quite a while, but that's the last thing I chose to include in my drawing, some description of the house. So you are going to do that with your drawing. You're going to pick more than that, actually, more descriptions that you found in the story. And then not only would I like you to draw them on your piece of paper, but also cite them. Actually write the description that told you to include this in your drawing. So you'll see I wrote that line about the clouds on my drawing. Clouds hung oppressively low, and passing alone on horseback. I have that down here as well. That's how this is going to go. And again, please draw at least 5 to 10 elements on your paper. Cite each one of them. Tell me where you found it in the text. And when you're done with that, if possible, I would really like to see what you drew just to make sure that it made sense to you. So if you do have access to a phone camera or can take pictures of your drawing using your Chromebook, I would love it if you could do that and email your picture to me just as an attachment. If you're having tech difficulties or if that isn't something that you can do, I understand, and that's totally fine. If you're in that situation, instead, please just write down a description of some of the things that you put in your drawing and why. And once you've typed that up, send that to me in an email instead. But that'll just be my way of checking and making sure that the beginning of this made sense to you. So have fun and let me know if you have any questions.